Okay, we've kind of talked about the state like they weren't here, but turns out they are. Let's check in with someone from the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education from the Jefferson City area via Google Hangout. We're talking tonight with Margie Van Dieven from DESE. Thanks for being here, Margie. We appreciate your time. I want to kind of do an update from the state perspective on kind of the themes that are developing here tonight and that we went in with tonight. Let's talk first about transfers. We've brought up the subject of will there be enough money? I know, and we also talked about the fact that your department asked for more money specifically to help Normandy. Can you help us with an update there? Why did you think that was necessary?
Well, as was mentioned earlier, there has been projections of the real potential that absent the funding, the Normandy School District could be designated as financially insolvent. And at that point in time, we needed to think very carefully about what would happen with the students who did choose to remain in the Normandy School District. If, as was mentioned earlier, March would have been a prediction of a time that the district would become insolvent, and if at that point in time the law designates that the district would at that point lapse and the State Board of Education would be required to assign those students to other districts, we think that would be highly disruptive for students in that district. And so at this point in time, we're just really thinking about the best interest of, again, a substantial number of students who have elected to stay in the Normandy School District, and we really want to do what's best for them.
And at this point, that's in the hands of our governor and our lawmakers.
Correct.
Let's switch gears a little bit to another topic we brought up, Common Core. I'll ask you the same question I asked earlier. When is Common Core? What is Common Core, and when is it coming to Missouri?
Common Core, they're really what we would be referring to as the grade level expectations in a way. They're the Missouri Learning Standards now for English Language Arts and Mathematics for grades K through 12. And what they do is they establish what all kids should know and be able to do in each of those grades. So they specify with great clarity the expectations for each grade level and for the content areas of math and English language arts. As to when they came to Missouri, they're here. They really, the state board adopted them in 2010, and school districts across the state have been making that transition. We expect the full transition to be made by school year 2014-2015.
In general terms, you might say folks who are on the right side of the political spectrum are worried about a kind of a national mandate. We heard from our journalist, this is not a national mandate per se. From the other side of the perspective of the spectrum, you hear folks who are concerned that we're kind of taking the individual teaching out of education, that all of a sudden we're standardizing the entire country. What can you say to that? I mean, do we have to all read the same books now? Is that the case?
No, Common Core is not a curriculum. It is the standards, and states did come together to develop them. This was not a federal position. This was something that states came together to say, hey, we are a very transient population. At this point in time, if I have a child that's moving into the neighboring states, I'd like to be able to say, okay, fourth graders should know this and be able to do this. So it's very much a state mechanism. It is not a curriculum. School districts, Missouri is a local control state. School districts still have the authority to select their textbooks, to develop their curriculum. Missouri has developed a model curriculum. It's a voluntary model curriculum that our school districts can use that has been aligned to the new English language arts and mathematics standards. And so, you know, I'll stop there.
well, no, that's fine. I guess my only question would be, I had an administrator at one of the districts here tell me, the story that's coming is Common Core. That's where you're going to see the next wave of well-attended public meetings, if you will, where people are very passionate about stopping this. Is this already too far down to stop? Is there any chance that Common Core won't go through in Missouri?
Well, there's always a chance, but again, the districts have been moving in this direction since 2010. The teachers who have been working with it have very positive things to say about it. The students that have been involved in it, and I'm hoping that you do have an opportunity to ask students about what they're hearing about that and if they're seeing any changes in their classrooms. And so I think what you're talking about is the next stage in the Common Core, which are two very separate issues, and that is the full implementation of how those standards would eventually be measured. But right now, again, we're well down the path to implementation of the Common Core.
Let's change gears again to MSEP 5. I believe you played a large role in writing this. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So can you help us make sense of that? What do parents need to know? Is this something that just the journalists covering it and the educators trying to live up to it need to know, or is this something, a tool for parents and that they need to understand?
This is a tool for parents. One of the things I'd like to point out is that MSIP actually stands for the Missouri School Improvement Program. The improvement, that I, is really critical. It's been in place since 1990, and this is simply the 5th version. So we've been working with it, and we've been refining it, and I think it continues to improve with each iteration. We released an annual performance report, which is a report on the performance components of the MSIP. And at this point, we were able to release school level reports. That was really with parents in mind, so that they can look at what's happening in their child's school.
Individual school, not just the district.
Correct. So the district APR is used then to make accreditation determinations. So you can then see what your district looks like, where it stands in the accreditation process, but then also break that down to the school level. And again, there are multiple measures. We just talked a little bit about teaching to the test and those sorts of components. I think it's important to note that there are multiple measures that are included in this annual performance report. It does have standardized tests, but it also looks at college and career readiness indicators, graduation rate, and attendance rates.
Margie.